There it is.
What is going on, everybody? Happy Monday night to you and yours here on the All About the Birds Show Network, AAT Sports Network. I am your host, Chip at Chip for the Birds, here on a brand all new edition of Chips and Dish. I had to make sure that I had enough pens a la Nick Sirianni style because my man just couldn't seem to find one that he liked. So I've got, I'm just going to just start pulling these from all over the place. Same thing as last week. I'm not sure if Twitter is allowing for comments yet on live streams. So if you want to get in on the chat, you want to get in on the talking, we're live on YouTube. We're live on Facebook. Go check it out and comment in. You can see Maddie's already commenting in from Facebook. Maddie, what's going on? I am joined tonight by two very, very well-established gentlemen. I am very excited for the vet alumni up in the house tonight. These guys have been killing the game lately. We got Prem. We got Tech.
Your show means we made it, Chip.
Listen, I like to think so. So I'm very happy to be joined by these two guys tonight. We have a lot to talk about. And if people happen to look in the description, everything sucks right now. Which has kind of been the general theme of Philadelphia sports, but even with Facebook going down for, the entire day today and Instagram being down the entire day today, everything just kind of sucks right now. It was a big old Monday. So we're going to get into a lot of things. That's what it comes down to. I'm going to throw it out to the sponsors real quick so we can get that up and done and we can talk about some things. So things that don't suck. Statement Games does not suck. I am going to be 3-0 again this week in fantasy sports. Check them out. They will help you with what you need. Statement Games, great sponsor, link in the bio. OddsJam.com, you can use their arbitrage calculator to not lose money. For my gambling fans, it's not gambling if you always win. I'm just saying. So use OddsJam.com.
There you
go. Of course, we have the AATSportsNetwork.com/shop for all of the amazing designs that we've thrown up there. Just a couple that are new and popping up in the shop. You can see the Slim Reaper. You can see Dallas sucks unless we're playing them. The Cane Train. I'm not sure what that is. That's a Johnny thing. I think that's a Penn State thing. And there's Nick Sirianni with one pen.
Yes.
So, again, you can be all about that, helping support podcasts. Couple more sponsors doing this real quick. We got La Terrain Luxury Watches. Use the code AATBirds for 10% off. 99jersey.com. I clicked the wrong one, but the 99jersey.com, use the code AATBirds20 for a 20% discount at checkout. And our very favorite is manscaped.com. It's partnered with AAT Birds. Use the code AATBirds for 20% off and free shipping at checkout.
Your balls will thank you.
All right, enough of that crap. I am joined tonight by Prem and Tech from the Vet Alumni Pod. Gentlemen, what's happening?
We're happy to be here, Chip. Obviously, we wish it was under better circumstances as far as the state of Philadelphia sports. We have a diva first-round basketball player that simply doesn't seem to have an adult brain. We have a football team that has an offense on the rise but cannot stop a nosebleed. And we have a Flyers team coming back. We don't know what they're going to be. The Phillies, obviously, big disappointment. You missed the playoffs by a handful of games and you blow 30 saves. So we know why that happened.
Forget about
it. Saying is there's a chance that we are going to hate everything in Philadelphia for the next couple of years. That's what you're saying.
Maybe. I know Tech probably thinks that.
Well, it's rough when the Eagles season is just getting started and there's not a whole lot to really look forward to when you're seeing you're looking forward to a possible 1-6 start.
Yep.
And the Sixers are starting with that ridiculousness. Daryl Morey, a fraud, overplayed his hand, completely botched this situation. And now you're stuck with that. The Flyers, we'll see. They got a bunch of new guys. Cam Atkinson scored the other night. The backup goalie, Jones, who looked dreadful, he actually had a better game. They could do it, but we don't know. The Phillies, as an organization and as a team, have completely wasted Bryce Harper's time. Bryce Harper, this man had to go on after the game where they were eliminated, talk about how he let the city down. You didn't let us down, bro. The team and the organization let you down, and they're wasting your time. That's where we're at in this city right now.
I think that's a really good synopsis, if I can use a teacher word, a good synopsis of why everything sucks hardcore right now. But before we really get into some detail, why don't you two gentlemen introduce yourselves, talk about a little bit about what you guys do, because you're doing some really cool things over at the Vet Alumni Pod.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Tech and I started the show about a year ago. We're both Philly 4-for-4 guys, born and raised in the city. I'm a Northeast Philly guy, Texas South Philly guy. We connected in the music industry, actually. We're both music producers for a number of years. That's our primary line of work. And, we have a passion for the city sports like most fans do. And we felt like we just wanted to become voices on the scene. We've partnered with John Barchard and Vince Quinn, formerly of 94 WIP and Last Out Media. Now we're doing game day events with them at Henry James Saloon every Eagles game. We air our show every Wednesday on all major platforms. And we have very opposing views usually, so it makes for good sports talk.
Because Prem is the numbers guy, and he's also a great stats guy. He pulls up stats. I don't even remember that. This game, I remember in 07, I don't remember any of that. He remembers it all. But he's also sometimes a blind optimist, but he's an optimist. Right. But the reason why it's not so blind is because he's basing it off of facts, where I'm going off of just sheer emotion, off of what I'm saying in the moment. And
that's right.
I always feel like my opinion is subject to change based on what I'm seeing. And the Eagles, look, I thought they were going to be 1-5 in the first 6 games. And lo and behold, they won the Atlanta game. I actually thought they were going to lose that game. They won that game. And if they would have won, which Sirianni cost them single-handedly the next week against the 49ers, if they would have won that game, it changes the whole trajectory on this season. And reason why they lose that game, now you're back to a 1-5, possibly. Now we'll see what the Raiders do later on, but it could be a 1-6 start for the Philadelphia Eagles.
I will say this though, Jalen Hurts is not the problem.
No, I
can leave it at that.
All right.
I don't
state your case.
I don't.
Well, you look at yesterday. You got a team like Kansas City coming in. Obviously, you have to score points. You know that. So what does Jalen Hurts do? He comes out. He's efficient from the jump. They got him going with some good play calls, easy throws, confidence-building throws, and you don't punt once. Once. But the defense can't stop anybody. So not only can they not stop anybody, even if it's maybe an average to good quarterback, you have the best quarterback wide receiver combination in the world stepping foot on the Lynx field, and you still are only down by 5 points with 12 minutes to go in the game. Yeah. That's solely because of Jalen Hurts' play, who had 3 beautiful touchdowns wiped off the board by penalties that had nothing to do with his reads or his throws. This man accounted for over 400 yards, and really, when you think about it, threw 5 touchdowns. Now, I know only 2 of them counted. We know that. But he's not the issue. The issue is clearly
one counted. I'm not counting Greg Ward. I'm not counting the Greg Ward touchdown. That didn't count. That was in the garbage of most garbage time I have ever seen. Yeah. It was actually it was such garbage time that I went outside to do the post-game show when the score was still whatever it was to 23, and I had that saved as the final score. Someone had to tell me that no, they got 30 points. That's how much of a garbage it was.
Yeah, the real score would have been more like 35-23, because even the last Kansas City touchdown, we were all out blitz. It was desperation at that point. You're going to give that up when you all out blitz. But nevertheless, my point is Jalen Hurts' trajectory is up. The young wide receiver core is looking up. And, the running game, Kenny Gainwell is a good player as well.
Oh, definitely. We'll get to Gainwell. But let me just start with Jalen Hurts by saying I don't know that he's the franchise guy. I'm not all the way in on that, and I'll be shocked if they do go that direction. But he gave you one extreme last week where he gave you his worst performance as a pro. And then he bounced back to the other extreme this week by giving you his best performance as a pro. So that is encouraging. I'm a big Hurts guy. I want him to succeed. I love that Vic style of play. I just do. I've always loved it. And I see something in this kid. He's got it. He's a leader. He's got all those little intangibles that I really like. It's the arm strength and the accuracy that troubles me, and I think it troubles the front office. And I don't know.
But we got away with a guy for many, many years who had arm strength and accuracy issues as well in the name of Donovan McNabb.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
but
there's comparisons there.
But
and not only that, let me just say this, guys, and Tech, you'll appreciate this because this is part of our segment last week. Jalen Hurts in his first 4 starts to start a season compared to the last 5 franchise quarterbacks we've had: Ron Jaworski, Randall Cunningham, Donovan McNabb, Carson Wentz, Nick Foles. He has a better completion percentage than all of those men after 4 starts to start a season. That's not a problem to me. The problem is it's a new system and a new coach and a new play caller, and it's going to take a little time. And patience is not this fan base's strong suit. Logic is not this fan base's strong suit.
We're the most patient fan base on the planet. Come on now.
In his first 8 games as a pro, he's got better numbers than Russell Wilson's first 8 games as a pro and Lamar Jackson's first 8 games as a pro, which is, Lamar Jackson went on to have an MVP season. All I'm saying is this: I wouldn't count the kid out. I'm just 100% sold on him right now. But Nick Sirianni is a problem. He's the problem.
So here's what I'm going to say. And again, it's funny that you guys have the dynamic that we have on our show because Johnny is our optimist with the numbers and the stats and everything. So we have that every Wednesday night. He actually picked the Eagles to win. So did my wife, but she also picks the Eagles to win.
I didn't.
Because she always picks the Eagles to win.
Right.
Good on her. I think, Tech, I'm a lot more like you.
Yes.
Where it's, look, let's call it like it is. This is what the numbers say. This is what the numbers dictate. Now, put that aside. I want them to win. But here's what most likely in reality is going to happen because I have eyeballs. I pass the eyeball test. We understand these things. Again, by the way, I keep putting up comments on Twitter are still not working. Watch on Facebook, YouTube, comment in.
I got him right here, Chip, and I just want to say real quick, shout out to Donald Canaway. He said, tell them, fellas, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. That's actually part of our intro for our Numbers Don't Lie segment.
Yes, it is.
See, Conaway, so let me tell you a little bit about Conaway. Conaway is a teacher at my school. He was picked as the NHL Teacher of the Year, started out as Flyers Teacher of the Year, then became the NHL Teacher of the Year for everything that he does. He is one of the co-hosts of the Drunk on Broad podcast.
Oh, I thought so. We've had him on our show. Okay, what's up, guys?
Yeah, so this guy rocks. And the comments rolling in are great. So yes, Maddie, we do get to be extra frustrated. We're going to talk about that. Matt, go Birds. Thanks for tuning back in. See, Matt and I do this every Monday night over the interweb. And last week, he didn't watch. Or 2 weeks ago, we didn't watch on a Monday night. And the Eagles blew my streak of always winning on Monday nights. Philadelphia sports always win on Monday nights as soon as I go live. So we blame Matt. We're over it. Adam, he came out to the West End in Quakertown for our live show yesterday. So we got a lot of cool things happening. But it's funny, Prem, that you mentioned that set of statistics because that's actually what got you and I talking today because people are so quick to say Hurts isn't the guy, Sirianni isn't the guy, this guy isn't the guy. This season
isn't the season.
It was a rebuild season.
It's a 2-year plan.
It's going to be a rebuild season. So we blew out Atlanta and people started planning their trips down Broad Street.
Right.
Because that's what we do. So for them to play exactly like they are supposed to play this season next week against San Francisco, everyone's like, oh, well, hold on a second. We got to get rid of Sirianni. Sirianni completely shit the bed last week and the week before. And there's no denying that Sirianni is struggling in an NFL setting. He is not doing a good job. I think the bigger issue is the fact that there is no senior assistant to kind of tell him, no, that's not what we do.
That's like fair.
You looked at him yesterday, and there was two situations that kind of jumped out to me. Like, does he really know the rules here? The call against J.J. Arcega-Whiteside where he lost his crap. It was textbook.
It was clearly
textbook. Now, it was soft.
Yeah,
it was
right.
soft pass interference.
There was some space. There was some space there you don't usually see on a rub call.
It was absolutely soft, but it was still a textbook call. So for him to lose his crap, I'm like, that's not the one I would alienate the refs over.
It was corny.
I'm trying to remember the other call because there was another situation where was it Slide? My wife's saying it from the other side. It may have been this, like, either way, there was another call where he lost his crap. I'm like, the Devontae Smith rule, the Devontae Smith call.
Where whether it was
he went out of bounds. He went out of bounds. He came back in, and he was the first guy to touch the ball.
Yeah.
You can't do that. Be pissed at Devontae Smith that he's 4 pounds.
You would think he would have learned from watching Rager do it. He just did it. Why wouldn't you?
Correct me if I'm wrong. I thought that if you do step out like that, you reestablish you can touch the ball.
That's fine. You still can't touch the ball.
I was mistaken on the rule.
Kickoffs and punts, those guys, even if they get shoved out and they come back in and they run another 30 yards downfield, they still can't be the first ones to touch the ball.
Right.
Now,
and they ruled that he wasn't forced out. Yeah, they ruled that he wasn't forced out.
Right. He gave himself no spacing on the sideline, which is the exact same issue that Rager had. I think the frustration comes in as Eagles fans is, how are we still making the same mistakes? The pre-snap penalties? Come on.
Over. It's the same routine.
This team is in the position it's in because of penalties and defense. I don't care who your quarterback is. Unless you have Peyton Manning in his prime or Drew Brees in his prime, your defense allows 40+. You're not going to win those games.
You're not. You're just not. And the thing is, like, the defense was one of the things that we were less worried about. And look, I think you're seeing the fact that losing Brandon Graham is even that much further of a problem because now Fletcher Cox has become a non-factor. I don't even know if we have signed Ryan Kerrigan yet for all the time he's been on and not recorded a single. How is that possible?
He's completely washed, completely cooked, done.
How do Ryan Kerrigan and I have the same stats this season?
Yeah, just release him. Just cut him. The guy's played all these snaps and has a 0. He has no stats.
I was actually surprised. I was surprised that they didn't cut him, considering he didn't play a single minute of preseason football. You literally went and you kept him on your team based on reputation alone.
Yeah. And that's a problem that this team has had for a long time.
Yeah, sure. And even guys like Derek Barnett. I look at Derek Barnett.
Oh, God.
It's the same. That's why it's always him. That's why he said
that's a new T-shirt. It's always him.
Because it is always. It's always him.
The next Reggie White.
No, he's not. But you know what?
I know.
But again, you want to talk about soft penalties. You know, he got called for it. But that, again, he got shoved low, and it just so happened that Sweat went high, and it kind of did the whole, seesaw trip.
Yeah, that penalty wasn't his fault. He got pushed into him. But still, it's week after week. It's Derek Barnett. It's always that guy, and it's been that guy. This isn't the first season. Just because Sirianni said it's always him doesn't mean that it wasn't always him last year, too. It's been him for a while. And so I've had
You're right. And look, we can go over the fact that they've ignored entirely the run game for 2 weeks.
I know.
You're talking about Jalen Hurts and his player development, and he was never going to be a throw the ball 50 times kind of guy.
No.
That was never going to be him. And in my opinion, in my opinion, no quarterback in the NFL should be that guy. Nobody. I wouldn't even say Peyton Manning and Drew Brees should be those guys. That's too much. You do know that the Eagles have the 8th ranked offense in football, though, right now.
Here we go. See this dreamland stuff?
It's not dreamland, though. It's talking about just moving the ball. You have 30 first downs against Kansas City. 30 first downs. 30.
Right. But
who's responsible for that? The quarterback and the offensive line, which was in shambles.
Right. You go against a team though like Kansas City, you go against a team like Dallas, and their defensive lines are just decimated by injuries.
Yes.
How do you run the ball a total of 10 times with your best offensive weapon in 2 weeks? How do you do that?
Crazy.
Well, I do have a theory about that.
Well,
and
hold on. If you got a theory, I got to go full screen on you here. You have earned some full screen time. Hit me with your theory.
I believe that Miles Sanders is good, but he ain't great. And there are wide open lanes on some of these runs, and he cuts back and he tries to get to the outside, and he's not doing it. It's happening way too much, and it stalls what Sirianni's trying to do. So he abandons it. He abandons it completely and puts Gainwell in situations for a running back to be in. And you know what? I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say it on our show on Wednesday, and I'm going to say it first here, is that Miles Sanders is going to have to get an extension. It's coming. And I would not do it. I would not do it. I would trade him at the deadline. That's what I would do. I got a guy like Gainwell, quite frankly, if I have to be honest, I'm a Sanders guy. I think Gainwell is better overall. He does certain things that Sanders doesn't do. And he's younger, he's cheaper, and for all intents and purposes, for what I need him to be, he's better. Now, they don't have the kind of running back they need, like a Marlon Mack or even a Jordan Howard. Where's he been? Why don't you bring in a guy like that can really get north and south instead of trying to make Miles Sanders be something that he isn't? It's Dougie P all over again. That's where I'm at with Miles.
And I think for me, so Adam wants to know, in your opinions, who's better, Saquon or Sanders?
Tough one. I mean, Saquon's supposed to be better. Saquon's supposed to be better. Yeah, you got to go Saquon.
He's supposed to be better. Yes.
Yeah. On paper. I mean, I think the jury's still out because these guys are so young.
I think the jury is still out, and the fact that we're not really getting a fair assessment on what Sanders is. We're just not. And I think the one thing, Tech, that you just said is really interesting about the whole, it's Doug P all over again. So here's my question. If we were going to fire Doug Peterson because not running the football, not adapting, plain vanilla offense, why hire, and I've heard this phrase used a couple times now, why hire the Walmart brand version of him in Nick Sirianni?
Well, because he came from Indianapolis, they had some balance. And I think the purveying belief was
he was going to bring the balance.
Yeah, he was going to come in and he was going to lean on the run with the young quarterback, open up play action, and kind of play a style similar to what Belichick maybe did with early Tom Brady, where they're running the ball, they're dump offs, they're high percentage passes. But when you have receivers like this and we're built for speed, then you naturally, in today's NFL, you want to go vertical. You want to be like the Arizona Cardinals of the world now, the Kansas City Chiefs of the world. And I think that's where Sirianni has maybe gone wrong a little bit, is straying from football 101. You know, like
you got at the bare minimum, you got to go 60-40.
I agree. Right now, I totally agree.
Bare minimum.
Look, he's calling his plays. Everyone's calling him a puppet, that Howie and Jeffrey are pulling the strings. They're calling the plays from upstairs. No. But Sirianni's running his sheet based on a philosophy that was installed with Sirianni and whatever he was going to do, and that's why
this is his sheet.
Yeah.
This is his sheet.
They hired him with that in mind. We talked about this last week on our show, that they when they hired him, it was because they knew this is a guy, it's his dream come true to become a head coach in the NFL. You know, and he's willing to say, okay, I agree with this analytics philosophy with you guys, and let's go. They were like-minded in that sense, and they installed their philosophy in his call sheets, in his game plans, in his schemes. And we're seeing a lot of that, and that's why we're not seeing the run. It's clear that's why we're not seeing, because there's no other explanation. What could it be? You've never seen
the offensive line has been destroyed.
Yeah, but they've been playing well. They've actually been playing well.
So, Prem, I hear what you're saying on that, and that's been another one of my concerns is that you have young offensive linemen. You have guys that have not really played, not really built in on the system. What is the one thing that you have done if you're playing offensive line since Pee Wee football? You have learned how to run the ball.
Absolutely.
So to build some confidence for Dillard, to build some confidence for Dickerson, who has not been good, to build confidence for returning from injury, Jack Driscoll. Look, I think overall the line played well yesterday, but what's the thing they got dinged on nonstop? The being downfield.
Yeah.
Because the timing on the RPOs was off.
It was.
Yeah. Because so what do? You don't just keep running full speed into the brick wall like this is going to work. This is going to work. You make an adjustment, and they didn't. So
yeah.
So in that situation, who's to blame, Prem? Is it Sirianni for sticking with that play, or is it Jalen Hurts for not getting the ball out?
Well, I mean, Hurts, for the most part, he did a good job when he needed to roll and throw the ball away and avoid negative plays. He didn't really take many negative plays. I mean, by and large, they were turnover free. There wasn't many plays where you said, "Oh, that was terrible," as far as what Hurts was doing. So I don't think I put the blame on him. His decision making in the red zone, maybe that's questionable. The offensive line, obviously, you have one starter out there, so there's not going to be continuity. Yeah, there's not going to be continuity, and I think that the bottom line is, for me, is the takeaways I have from the game is that Jalen Hurts is not really afraid of the moment. You're going toe-to-toe with arguably the best team in the AFC, yet to be determined, but definitely in the conversation as Super Bowl champion. And you went toe-to-toe with a defense that didn't stop anybody. And that's my main takeaway. That's the primary thing I'm looking at, because that tells me that when we face off against premier teams, we have a chance to stay in the game regardless of what the defense does.
Well, the Monday night primetime lights were a little too bright for him in that start.
That was a different story. I mean, it was definitely, it's a young quarterback. So, this is his fourth start in this system. I know he's started 8 games or whatever, but I don't really look at the Dougie P starts as much as carrying that much weight, because you had a broken system on a broken offense.
You had a broken system in a broken locker room. Yeah.
Yeah, so I look at these 4 starts as, Jalen Hurts, this is like the beginning of his resume for me personally, because it's brand new. And it's brand new. I can't make any rash judgments yet. I have to see like, at least 8 to 12 games to have a better idea. How many of these games are going to be like the Cowboys performance? How many of these games are going to be like the KC performance? We don't know yet. And for anyone to say that they know is just blowing smoke.
Well, either way, the defense gave up 41 and 42 points consecutively. So
you can't win those games.
Right. You can't make decisions based on it. And I think part of the issue comes into the Philadelphia ex-girlfriend or next girlfriend philosophy of how many times are we going to get a bigger name as the number 2 and now the number 3 quarterback than the guy that's starting. Look, it doesn't seem to be bugging Hurts. It doesn't bug Hurts. It bugged Wentz. It doesn't bug Hurts. But the problem is that the fan base, and maybe they're not listening. Maybe they are. Maybe Lurie's listening. Maybe Howie's listening. Maybe somebody's listening. But it's giving us fans too many other options. Look, Flacco is not the guy. We can assume that right now. No. And you got Gardner Minshew for nothing. So I don't have a problem with that.
Week 7, week 8, circle it, because that's when you're going to start hearing it loud.
But this is a 2-year plan.
Winning the Super Bowl, right?
This is a 2-year plan to me. You have a lot of draft capital coming up. It's a 2-year plan to me. So, you have Hurts on a rookie deal for 2 more seasons after this season. So if you can load up the defense with these draft picks, and maybe you go 2 on defense, if you have, say you have 3 first, you go 2 on the defense and you go 1 offensive line because you simply have to. Then you see what sticks next year in the second year with this team, with a whole nother offseason to get better, a whole nother offseason to evaluate what they did and didn't do right. And to me, it's a 2-year plan. So at the end of next season is when, quote, heads would roll, in my opinion. It's not this season.
No, I agree with the coaching staff. They get a pass.
No, the coaching staff is going to get a chance. I mean, unless Gannon keeps allowing close to 50 points a game. I mean, that is it's an excessive amount of points that are being allowed. Excessive.
Right.
I've never seen an Eagles defensive line get gashed like this up the middle consistently.
And it wasn't like yesterday. It wasn't like Clyde Edwards-Helaire was running these elaborate runs, these difficult plays. He was literally running as they said last Monday night, the Bob Ross offense, nothing but draw plays.
Yeah. That's what Andy Reid likes to do.
Yeah. I know, and everybody knew that. The shovel pass, the fact that we fell for the shovel pass means nobody has watched tape because Andy Reid has been running that for 20 years.
Brian Westbrook, Correll Buckholder. I mean, come on.
Correll Buckholder, Ricky Waters.
Andy Reid said privately after the second one worked on us, he turned and said, "That's why I fired that guy." You know what I mean? Like, it had to have been that because that's what
nuts.
Andy Reid fired. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Listen. I know that Sirianni and this coaching staff is coming back. I know. But
Adam's asking another question here too.
Right. Is Gannon defense worse than Jim Schwartz defense? And I would tell you right now, it looks that way. I mean,
it's too soon.
It is too soon.
But he's making Jim Schwartz look like Jim Johnson. You know what I mean?
I agree so far. I agree.
And that's the thing that's very troubling about this coaching staff.
Adjustments.
We know Gannon doesn't have the guys. Okay, we know that. That's why they're going to get a partial pass this season. This coaching staff because they
should get a pass.
All the guys. Yeah, I know.
Should get a pass, but because they're in Philadelphia, they won't.
No, Jalen Hurts will not get that same pass.
No.
He will not. Once it gets loud for Gardner Minshew and Gardner Minshew plays a snap, it's Deshaun Watson time for this front.
Single snap.
Yeah, but Gardner Minshew had a nice little run in Jacksonville, but he's not a franchise guy. He's a good quarterback at best. He's a good quarterback at best.
Don't go to Flacco first. But once it gets to that point, it's going to be Deshaun Watson time.
Why would you go to Flacco, though? There's no point to go to Flacco. You just let Hurts. He's a young quarterback. You let him play through things because that's what Donovan did. That's what all these guys had to do.
Right.
Peyton had 20 interceptions his first year, 25.
I fear he won't get that chance. That's what I think right now. They act like
this season should be all about is Jalen Hurts the guy. He starts all 17 games.
Agreed.
He takes every snap. There's no more of this Deshaun Watson talk. There's no more of this Gardner Minshew talk or Joe Flacco talk. He starts every game. You're not record basing unless he is absolutely dreadful and he's throwing 3 to 4 picks and a half.
His ratio looks good right now.
He's got it through the growing pains, and he looks good. He looks like he is getting better every single week, with the exception of whatever the Monday night game was.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, he's going to continue to improve. The guy has a very good handle on how to approach team leadership from what I've heard him speak on so far. He just seems to get it. Carson didn't really fully get it. He seemed jittery at the podium, a little bit nervous a lot. And you look at Jalen Hurts, and it's like, does this guy's pulse ever escalate? It doesn't seem like it does.
No.
But, then again, on one hand, that's just one piece of the pie. You have to perform.
Like, I consider it to be a little nitpicking, my whole Miles Sanders stance, because, the offense is actually looking not terrible. They actually
look good.
They look good. So the real problem here, guys, the real concerns are all on the defensive side of the ball. The D line right now does not look as deep as we thought it was going in training camp. The linebackers that everybody was so hyped about look like a zero. They look inadequate in the world of NFL linebacking. And I'm a little concerned about the secondary. I know Slay's been decent.
Slay's been dominant. Slay's been dominant.
He's been dominant. He has.
Nelson has not been as dominant. And
the other three have not.
No. And the safeties, that's another concern. So they have so many holes on the defense that's why they look like the way they look. The defense, it looks exactly like what they are. They're a team with not much depth and not a whole lot of talent on that side. And Jonathan Gannon's trying to install his system, and it's just not working out.
And they're going against teams. And they're going against teams that are offensive juggernauts.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Let's call it like it is. Kansas City was always going to hang close to 50 because that's just what they do against great teams.
I know.
Dallas, Dallas's offense is exceptional this season. They were going to be, and I predicted them to make the Super Bowl last year until Dak went down. Dak was having an MVP season last season.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, look,
now he's back.
Guy. He might even be a top 5 guy right now, Dak, to be honest.
Yeah, they're playing.
Going against
they're playing
those
well.
teams, going against those teams, that makes sense. Now, if they put up another dud like that against the Panthers, who won't have, Christian McCaffrey. Like that's something we have to have a conversation about, because Carolina is not an offensive juggernaut.
I think they can beat the Panthers. I do. I think they can go in there. If they come in with the same game plan as they did against KC, and the defense just plays a little bit better. Just a little bit. Just
gotta run the ball. They gotta run the ball. Carolina can't stop the run either.
Yeah, they can beat the Panthers, but then they have to, because you're not going to beat Tampa Bay the following week, and you're probably not going to beat the Raiders.
By the way, the whole team that we're playing against can't stop the run thing. That makes no difference with the Eagles. The Eagles are not going to go. They're not going to go that way because that trend says it, and it makes me question, like, well, isn't that part of analytics?
Aren't you watching the tape?
Oh, yeah, aren't you seeing the trends there, and then go, okay, well, look, they're a sit running, so why don't we run the ball? It's the same thing. I can't even believe what I'm saying. Sirianni's troubling for me.
Speaking of troubling, I know we've been going for like 35 minutes now on like just yelling about the Eagles.
Yeah.
But speaking of troubling, there are other things that are troubling. Let's talk about the Sixers, because the Sixers started their season. Ben Simmons didn't.
No.
Ben Simmons is essentially a child. I said this on our show last week. He reminds me of,
You get your main. Hold on. Do it.
Okay. Ben Simmons reminds me of a 17-year-old high school senior, or worse. I know you are, but what am I type of discussion type thing. In his own little world, where he feels that his arrogance and his status in the world is more important than any type of team concept whatsoever. You could just simply look at the fact that he's really deserted his teammates, and they reached out to him personally on a genuine level. Personally, an MVP caliber player like Joel Embiid, and you basically just turn your shoulder and turn your back, and you're paid among the top 10% in your sport. When you have a job, you show up. Even if you're disgruntled, be the disgruntled worker. You still show up, and then if you're disgruntled, the company, whatever this company is and whatever job you have, is going to address it, whether it means you move on to a new company, aka a new team, or you just continue working disgruntled. That's the way it works. So to me, Ben Simmons is a major disappointment, and I've lost respect for him just as a professional on a major level.
It is unbelievable to me that there are I've been for weeks now going on about what it takes to be a Philadelphia athlete. For weeks now. Carson Wentz was not a Philadelphia athlete. Would you stop? Sorry, my wife is hitting me with a charger because her phone's about that. I'm about to go on an angry rant about Ben Simmons. This woman is killing me over here.
Yes, happy wife, happy life.
I'm not. Carson Wentz was not a Philadelphia guy. Like, it was just obvious. It was obvious. So what did he do? He tucked tail and ran.
Yeah.
Ben Simmons is going to tuck tail and run. Don't even come out and see me. I don't want to talk to you. Like, to quote some of my students, who is you?
Who do you think you are?
Who is you?
Yeah.
Yes.
So Adam says, why give Ben the airtime? Here's the reason why, right? I judge an offseason for any team in one very simple thing. Did the team get better based on their offseason moves? This Sixers team did not get better.
Well,
now, I'm not saying that Ben Simmons is good, but like I'm looking at a move like Andre Drummond instead of Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard it's a lateral move. Now, Andre Drummond just dropped 19 in a preseason game.
Yeah, true. Now, the other guy, Niang, he might actually be an upgrade from Mike Scott.
But you still don't have a point guard that can shoot and facilitate. We don't know if he's the guy yet.
He might get
Ben Simmons, for him to say, I'm not coming. I don't want to play for those fans.
You said
that's remarkable.
You said, who is you? I'll tell you who he is.
Who is you?
He's a pampered bitch ass dude who has
right here.
He just wants to be a Kardashian, and he doesn't care about winning. He doesn't care about being a great player. He cares about being a superstar, an all-star. That's what he cares about. He doesn't care about winning or being a winner. He is not a winner. That we know.
He's more interested in the NBA culture than the NBA game.
And that game 7 pass when he would like forewent the easy bucket.
He'll never be forgiven for that.
That exemplifies everything we're saying in one highlight.
Yeah. That's it. That's it. And again, there was some talk, well, maybe he'll come back. Maybe the fans, again, Philadelphia is a tough place to play. The fans would not allow him to come back.
Never.
And I agree with what Don said here. Let his ass rot. Don't even trade him.
Well,
don't even trade him.
Well,
unless it is a deal, unless it's a deal that's worthy of it, and then you ship him off to Sacramento to burn.
Okay. Would you? Or Minnesota. But would you take C.J. McCollum? Because I gotta tell you, I would. At this point,
I would take anybody over Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons doesn't have to play.
Yeah, it's a shame because think about this. Last year we're thinking, package for Ben Simmons, you're at least going to get Dame Lillard or Bradley Beal. How far away is that now? That's like a distant possibility. There's no way that's ever going to happen now because he's ruined his value so much.
It's gone from that to D'Angelo Russell or Buddy Hield or what's the other John Wall.
All those guys are not John Wall. John Wall is washed up.
Yeah,
well, he gets hurt. He's always hurt. I feel like he's out every year. He's out every year. So
at least Ben Simmons gets us to the playoffs before he checks out. You know what I mean? Like it's.
Yeah, you're right about that. But at this point, you're looking at Maxey as the point guard and Seth Curry is back in it. It's the same lineup with Tyrese Maxey as the point guard. And guess what? They might be better off. Maybe not defensively.
Maybe.
But they might be better off. And Thibault will have a bigger role now. And
I said last year that at this point, and this was as Ben Simmons was really starting to show that he wasn't an improved player. I said at this point, if I could only keep one, I would keep Matisse Thibault. And everyone jumped down my gut like, oh, what do you mean? I'm like, because defensively, they're kind of neck and neck.
Yeah, there's no
But at least Matisse is in a gym willing to work and then actually taking those shots in a game.
Yeah,
he's a team player.
He might make 1 out of every 5 nice 3
But at least he's taking it. Ben Simmons goes, look at my video. It's highlighted, right? Look how sweaty I am. Look, I'm going to alley-oop it off myself. In summer ball against guys that he likes.
Smoke and mirrors, man. Ben Simmons' life is just smoke and mirrors.
Yeah. I know. Doing that in the gym against guys my height, it doesn't impress me. It just doesn't impress me. Do it in the game against, real guys.
Yes.
Take a shot. All we asked was improve your free throws, take some 3-point shots. I've been saying for weeks.
But
maybe the solution, right?
But that's
maybe the solution. It's over. Yeah, it's done. I mean, I'm not even going to bring it up again. That's done. He's not coming back here.
And a lot of the writers, I have a problem with a lot of the writers that say, well, unless there's some kind of shift, and that there is, don't even bring it up. Don't even mention it. It's not happening. He's not ever going to be here again.
Book is closed on
over.
It's over. It's Eric Lindros really all over again. When Lindros said,
Scott Rowland all over again.
Yeah, when Lindros
Speaking of the Flyers, overtime win against the Bruins in tonight's preseason game.
Hey, good.
Yo, I can't pronounce the one dude's name, the defenseman that they got, Ristolainen.
Yeah, he's good.
So what I'll tell you, and people who watch my show know this, is that I got back into the Flyers after a couple of years off. And again, they won every Monday night. The Sixers, they won every Monday night. The Phillies, they won every Monday night. It was kind of the running joke. I am really excited for this Flyers team. I'm also excited for the Seattle Kraken, just because it's the best name. Yo, I'm excited for that. But again, I'm excited for the Flyers to start up.
Yeah.
Ristolainen? What the hell's that guy's name?
Ristolainen, or I don't know, but the Flyers might actually be good. They could be. They at least have a shot to be good. So we'll see. I mean, it's better than any other. I mean, I don't want to count the Sixers out just yet, but it's not looking, pretty positive.
Well, Brooklyn's going to probably represent the East. Brooklyn's representing the East regardless.
You know who's not representing anything in the East? The Phillies.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to look at one thing.
That's called a segue, gents. That's a segue.
I like it. Well, this is my take on the Phillies season.
Hold on.
The offense, regardless of how bad Didi was, regardless of how some of these guys underachieved, like Alec Boehm, when you look at it and what happened this year, the offense, as far as scoring runs in certain situations in games, the offense did enough to make the playoffs. You had 30 blown saves and you missed the playoffs by what? A couple games? So if you just had an average performance from your bullpen, just average, Say you blew 15 saves, which is probably an average number for most average pens.
Right.
You win a division by 6 games. Simple. So it's not the offense. Sure, could they have scored more runs sometimes? And did they have some duds? Of course. It's 162 games. All baseball teams get shut out. Even the Dodgers get shut out sometimes. You lost this season the way you did because you simply cannot evaluate bullpen talent or acquire bullpen talent properly. It's that simple to me.
And all the guys are supposed to be our future. They're a joke. They're a joke.
Or starting pitching talent, because look, I early on in the Phillies season did a whole 2-hour episode about how Aaron Nola wasn't an ace. And
thank you, Chip.
I got attacked.
Yes.
Tech said the same thing.
He's not an ace.
We were at Last Out doing a show with Vince Quinn, and I said it and almost got laughed out of the studio. I said we should trade him at the deadline, and I almost got laughed out of the studio. Nola stinks.
He doesn't stink. He's a back end 2, early top 3.
He's inconsistent.
He's not a 4-starter, bro. He's not a 4-star. That's absurd.
He's a 2 or a 3, but he's inconsistent. Right?
Absolutely.
Wheeler, at least you know what you're getting for him. 4 out of his 5 starts.
Wheeler, Suarez, Eflin, Nola. In that order. You need to get a 5th starter, you need a closer, and you need a real setup man. That's what
Suarez is legit, though. Ranger Suarez got ice in his veins. Ice in his veins.
Yeah.
Dude,
definitely.
He's legit. And I look at this team, and I said, my question that I was asking over the last couple of weeks of the season when we saw how it was going to shake out was, should Girardi get another season, right? If they miss the playoffs, should he get another season? And I went back and forth on it because, there's the COVID stuff and there's the shortened season and then there's this and there's that. I think finishing over 500 bought him another season. I'm willing to say that, again, the team improved from last season to this season. Now, there's still no player development. There is still no farm system. There is still no real good pitching. There is still an issue with defense. Their errors were equally to blame when it comes to which was the cause of them not making the playoffs. Errors, bullpen.
Yeah, they did hire Don Mattingly's kid. They hired Don Mattingly's kid as the new director of player development, I believe. I don't know what his full track record is. He was with the Padres, and that's promising to me because the Padres have grown a lot of talent, especially pitching talent, over the last 5 years. They've had some guys that are really good that then got injured, though, unfortunately. But, I don't know how much of a difference it's going to make. Definitely not immediately. That's something that takes years to develop.
The Phillies are a good old boy organization. I would have never have hired the son of a division competitor manager. I would never have done that. Oh yeah, he competes against us more times a year than any other team.
That's fair.
We'll hire his son.
That's a fair point.
I never thought about that, bro. That's fair.
I wouldn't have done it.
That's a good.
And Girardi definitely lost a few games with his decisions late, but he's not the real problem. The problem was the GM picking the right bullpen signees is the problem.
And I was excited. I was excited for Archie Bradley.
Same.
Yeah. He was okay. I would have put him at the closer a lot sooner and more often until they got what the hell's the kid's name? Whoever closed for us all those games.
Ian Kennedy, was he?
Oh, Kennedy, yeah.
Kennedy, yeah. I was blanking on the name for a second. I was confusing him with Gibson. Because, again, up until then, Hector Neris ain't it.
No.
Not as a closer, but his ERA between innings 6 and 8 is ridiculous.
Neris is better as a longer reliever. He's better.
So let him do that. And let me just say this now. The bullpen game needs to go the way of the dodo.
Awful.
Only bad teams have to do it. Only bad teams. Not good teams. Good teams at 5 stars.
Let's make Chase Anderson the pick. No. Let's make Matt Moore. No. Let's make Vinny V. No. They were just what could we throw out there just to maybe pitch a couple innings?
And then
you put Matt Moore in your bullpen. Just have him start the game.
They force-fed us Vinny V for too many years, and then they tried to force-feed us Matt Moore this season.
I can't believe the Padres picked up Vinny V.
Yeah,
they just completely collapsed. They were looking like they were going to win the West in June. Remarkable.
It's a long season. Baseball's a long season.
Gabe,
it's a marathon.
All I gotta say, Gabe.
I know.
But he wasn't the problem. Again, you talk about the Philadelphia mentality.
That's why I wouldn't fire Girardi yet. Binder Joe gets another year because this is really on the owner. John Middleton is a fraud. I put this on him. He is a fraud owner. What the worst? He's just the worst. I'm trying to think of who I could even compare him to, and I can't even come up with anything.
Norman Brayman.
Wow.
I don't know if he's worse than Brayman. But he is.
It's the first Brayman drop up on a Chips and Dish episode. I like that.
Happy to do it.
We're the vet alumni. We go back to those days.
That's true.
Yes.
That's true.
Yes.
So, all right. Before I bring in the misses for our weekly pickoff segment, I want to ask you guys each the same question. So you've been a part of, the music industry. You've been a part of now the podcasting industry. The coolest person that you've worked with in your careers. Prem, let me start with you.
Well, it's between two guys. I'm either going to go with working directly with Mac Miller, who I met when he was like 16 years old in Pittsburgh and worked with him very early in his career, or hip hop legend Kool Keith, Ultramagnetic MCs. He reached out to me through Twitter and asked for beats like 5 years ago. Within 40 minutes of sending a beat, he sent me back his verse recorded. Phenomenal.
There you go.
That's sick.
Yeah.
All right, Tech, who you got? Coolest person you've worked with?
I've worked with some, but none like Big Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg was the man to work with. Work with Wiz Khalifa too, but Snoop was absolutely everything you think about Snoop. It is what it is. He's the man.
Yes, sir.
All right, I wasn't realizing like that. Like that's the level that we go to. But okay, cool. Like
absolutely.
Right. I got some legit people up in here.
Yes, sir.
So again, you gentlemen are more than welcome to stay. I don't want to throw you off, but I gotta bring some pretty up in here. For
absolutely.
So the segment that we always do now on Monday nights is the weekly pickoff with my wife, Mrs. Chip for the Birds, Tila Keggy. And what basically the segment is, and I'm gonna do one of these real quick. Right? Cool. What the segment basically is, hold on, let me be the gentleman here. I gotta give her the chair. Hold on. Go ahead, pop in. Go ahead. I'm not joking, guys. Way above my pay.
Hi guys.
How are we doing?
Nice to meet you.
I don't have ears, so
there you go.
No idea.
So basically, what the segment is we pick some sports games, some sports based off of absolute shenanigan reasons. Again, I look at things analytically.
I don't.
And you do
not. You do not. I get it.
No, I do not.
But the records are almost identical. So I did win again this week. Kudos to me.
Mercury is in retrograde. That's the reason.
Here we go. We got a retrograder.
I've heard about a new moon this week. I've heard about a new moon on Wednesday.
See?
All right.
Stop it.
I heard about it today. I was told to shave and take a bath on Wednesday. That's what I was told to do.
That's right. See, something about
shave
6 planets lining. I don't know.
Listen, I don't know these things. So one of the items in our shop is a t-shirt that says costume mentality. Hold on. You have to explain this to the two gentlemen here because this is stupid logical.
Okay. So for me, I compare it to Beyonce.
Right away, you got it.
She said, like, when she steps on stage and she has like her whole costume on, she becomes Sasha Fierce. She becomes somebody else. So when you play football and you put on I call it a costume because that's how I feel about it, you're becoming somebody else. So you're going out there like, who does it? Who wears the Jason mask?
Sheldon Brown.
Okay. That's his thing. Then think about how they were wearing the dog masks and everything when they were coming out. It's just a different persona. So that's their costumes. I don't like they're not outfits. What are they? Uniforms? I don't like that.
Okay.
Yeah, costume's a better word.
So she went with this whole costume mentality thing, and I'm like, I'm not even mad about it.
It sounds like Nick Sirianni costume.
Well,
philosophy.
yeah, it
There
does
you
sound like
go.
Nick Sirianni philosophy, and it
does.
It works for what she
I'm gonna put
explained.
pens in my hat.
You feel free to borrow all the pens that I
He
have.
put
Over there.
some like.
Yeah, I wasn't wearing a hat. I actually got a haircut. Like I felt good about it. All right, so this week I went 9-6, going into the game that's happening right now. I think it started.
You went with the Chargers tonight?
Who did we both pick? We both picked the same. So we only had 2 games different.
Who's playing the Browns?
No, not the Browns. No, the game tonight. Hold up.
I don't know who the Chargers.
Raiders, Chargers.
Ravens, Chargers.
Oh, the
Raiders,
Ravens.
Chargers. I think we both picked the Chargers.
Did I pick the Ravens?
No, we picked the same team.
Are you sure?
I don't know. Hang on.
I feel like I
I'm pulling up
did
last
because
week's.
it's the Let's Get Spooky. Is that not the Ravens?
We both picked the Raiders.
The Raiders.
Raiders and the Chargers.
Oh, you said Raiders. Oh,
We
then I
both picked the
Yeah,
Raiders.
well, the Raiders are undefeated. I picked the Chargers. I thought that they would hand the Raiders their first loss because they beat the Chiefs last week, and they're a better. Actually, that was one of my picks. Was the Chargers to win straight up.
There you go.
In direct contradiction.
So these are not based on any kind of gambling. These are just win losses because.
Fair.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, honey, for the first time, you had a losing record this past week.
That's fine.
You
I
were
told
7-8.
you Mercury's in retrograde.
So I am 39-24 on the season. You are 35-28.
We're pretty close
We're
for
pretty
somebody
close.
that does not.
That is close.
Yep. And
Pay
we're going to
attention.
zoom it on
I
in.
pay attention to Eagles football. That's like
Fair.
All right. So here we go. Our quick weekly.
we're
pick-up
not
section.
too far apart.
No. So Rams and Seahawks. I have the Rams. The Rams did not play well this past weekend, which means they're going to play well. And
That's
Stafford
what I
is going to
said.
bounce back.
I agree.
I completely absolutely
You
said good
picked-
about Matt Stafford. Absolutely.
Because
I said because watching them lose so badly this week hurt my feelings. And McVay won't let that happen again, which you said, but also, especially not against Sierra's husband. It's Russell Wilson.
this is the segment, gentlemen. I wasn't joking about this.
It's not wrong. That is Sierra's husband. What's his name? Russell Wilson?
I like
it
how you're
is.
like
You're
focusing on the
right.
Sierra aspect of it on the football
I
segment.
am. That is Mrs. Sierra, Mr. Sierra.
Right on the money.
I don't know her last name.
This segment kills me every time. The Jets and the Falcons. I picked
What?
the goddamn Jets.
Bullshit.
Right? The Jets beat a really good Titans team. Maybe
They
they
did.
play well against another bad team. You
I
picked
like the
Falcons.
Titans as well. I mean, I'm sorry. I like the Jets as well in this one.
I picked the Falcons.
All right,
That's
we're
what I
Splitsky. We're
picked.
Splitsky.
See?
And you said?
They won one. Let's not get cocky.
That's fair.
They won one
That's fair.
game.
It's very fair.
One
She's right
game.
about that, by the way.
She is. I'm going to scoot you over a little bit because I'm like out of frame. Hello.
Okay.
All right, I'm in now.
It's one game.
They won one damn game.
Did the Giants win?
The Giants
Yes.
did win in
See?
overtime.
See? Here you go. This is why Mercury's in retrograde because the Jets and the Giants won.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Damn, New York finally got their wins.
Stupid.
All right.
Unreal.
Patriots, Texans. I got the Patriots. I said they played the champs down to the wire. It was a high emotional game, but they did the job. The Texans are so bad. I'm struggling to find a game that they win this season. You have the Patriots because
I only have the energy to pick one Texas team this week, and the Texans ain't it. They have what? 3
Valid.
teams? Is that what they have? 3 teams?
I think so.
The
2.
Texans.
Texans, Cowboys.
Isn't there another one in there?
That's it.
Either way, I don't have that kind of energy.
All right.
Right.
Adam says Patriots. Yes, Julio Facebook works again. We're very excited about that because that's where all the comments have been coming from. Lions and the Vikings. I pick against the Lions on the weekly. This week is no different. The Vikings have too many weapons with Jefferson and Cook to be stopped.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a slam dunk.
Yep.
You have also picked the Vikings.
I did. Last week, I picked the Vikings, and I was very upset. But I picked them because they have blonde hair, and so do I. So I don't know if this is fact or not, but it's a fact that I have now made up that Vikings slaughter Lions. And again, they have really good hair, so I'm going to go with the Vikings. I picked the Lions last week, and clearly Scar and Mufasa let me down.
Well, that's a fair pick. I mean, they're playing the Bears. So picking the Lions to beat the Bears is a fair pick.
Well, my reasoning was not justified. It was because in the Wizard of Oz, they say like lions and tigers and bears. So lions came first, so I just went with the lions. See, no logic. in this.
Gentlemen, this is what we do every single week
and
now.
I usually win, though. Usually.
Well, the Wizard of Oz is a classic, so it's reasonable to
And
me.
this is what I'm saying. See?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
it
on the
is.
same page.
All right, here we go. Eagles-Panthers. I have not picked the Eagles in a couple of weeks. I did pick the Eagles this week. I said they should win if they run the ball. The Panthers are a team that their record doesn't give an honest reflection of their ability. Having no Christian McCaffrey makes them one-dimensional, and the Eagles can win this one. You pick the Eagles because
I swear to God, if they lose this game, I can't take it. I do not bet against them just because I am an diehard Eagles fan. So I
like it.
I just have faith. Look, stranger things have happened. We won a Super Bowl in the craziest fluke season ever, which, well, not really that big of a fluke. It was very good.
It was a lightning in the bottle situation.
It was.
It
and
was.
so I choose to – I see Adam.
I'm putting up.
That's right. But I hope if they lose to the Panthers, I quit. I quit.
Yeah, it's not a good day for us if they lose to the Panthers. That's a game I expect them to be able to win that game. It's going to be close. It's going to be tight.
It should be.
And look, honestly, Hurts is improving each week, and that's all that you can ask, especially if somebody that's new. Just like in any job that you have, the most important thing is that they're improving. They're not going to go out and know everything the first time. I do think that this is kind of a rebuilding year. Sirianni, I feel like his play calling is not
good.
I think he's still trying to fit.
Well, the red zone's been bad. The red zone's been bad. But yesterday, inside between the 20s was fine.
The red zone's been terrible.
Terrible. Yeah.
He's just trying to figure it out. I feel like he doesn't have the right people in his ear, saying like, this is dog shit. Let's not run this a second time in a row. Like, they're going to see it. And if ESPN can call out, hey, Hurts can run to the right really well, so just push him to his left. Then you know that there's a problem. You have to switch it up if everybody can call it out.
Mm-hmm.
I want to point out also, gentlemen, that we don't talk about our picks and we don't have a lot of conversations during the week. So this is what she picks up is literally what she picks up.
Yeah, I watch football.
I know you watch football.
I just don't use that reason for why they picked me
I know
that I
don't.
do.
All right. Saints in Washington. I got the Saints. They lost last week, and they shouldn't have. They shouldn't have lost to the Giants, and they did. This is a payback game against a Washington team that's been struggling to just put it all together. You picked the Saints as well.
Mm-hmm. I'm angry at the entire division this week.
I think Washington wins.
Really?
Yeah, Tyler Henneke had a phenomenal game the other. He had a phenomenal game. And a game they shouldn't have won.
How is he doing anything in this league?
They won because of their quarterback. That's why they won. They didn't win because of their defense. They won because of that quarterback. I was high on him after watching him in the playoffs last year. He played really well and poised. I mean, obviously we hate Washington, but I'm just calling it objectively as a football guy.
Right.
Well, I am saying that the entire division is just really making me angry.
Tech, what do you got on that?
I got to tell you, with our luck,
Huh.
Washington will win that game.
I know, right?
It's the trend. It's where it's going.
I think the other problem is that Jameis Winston is the quarterback. You can't rely on him ever week to week.
Is that
No, I can't
Saints.
stand that guy. I think
He
he's
eats his
stand
fingers.
him.
He eats his fingers.
Yeah, I hate that.
Ew.
Look at the player next to you.
Yeah, oh
Like
my
he did that. That's what he did.
Okay.
He is the worst.
He's
ever.
not Drew Brees. Nobody is.
No. Julio, this is a good point. If Howard was active with the red zones, we still wouldn't run the ball, but at least we'd have a power back.
Very good point.
Exactly. Where's he
True.
been?
On the practice squad. That's where my friend hangs out. All right, keep it going. Titans and the Jags. I said the Titans lost to the Jets. Let that sink in for a second. They will not lose to another bottom-feeding squad in back-to-back weeks.
No.
You also picked the Titans.
No.
I did pick the Titans. I would like to see the Jags win because I don't know if anybody watches The Good Place, but Jason Mendoza, what does he say? Bortles.
Bortles.
Like he's not on the team anymore, but it's the point. But I can't.
It's a good show. Good show.
It is.
Great show.
Nashville over Jacksonville all day.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
I've had it with Florida.
Yeah, I'm never going back. I'm never going back.
Nah, I mean Disney's cool and all, but like that's
Disney's great.
That's the max of it. I spent a week in Key West and hated my life. So I didn't even mention this. I was in cover bands for years and years and years. So speaking of the music connection, I was in all, including the Northeast Philly cover band. So I was in the Rockets. I was in Scream. I was in Digital Get Down. I was in Fish Out of Water. Like I played every place in Northeast Philly.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
And Benny's.
But I played, Benny's. But I played Key West for a week. I am never going back to Florida in that aspect. That sucks.
Never. Go.
I like Fort Lauderdale. I like St. Pete. So Fort Lauderdale and St. Pete.
Either of those places.
St. Pete is beautiful.
The next game I see you guys got listed is an all Florida game.
It's an all Florida game.
I know, and that's the worst.
Let's keep going to Florida. All right. Dolphins and the Bucks.
Yeah.
I said the Dolphins quarterback play is subpar. Even with injuries that the Bucks are facing, they're going to be able to stop the pathetic passing game of Miami.
Okay.
Someone's going to play cornerback, and someone's going to stop it.
I have a deep love for the Dolphins.
Yeah. Because
I really like Dan Marino, and back in the day there was Ace Ventura, and I love that movie. So ever since that time, I've really loved the Dolphins as a football team in general. But they really went to shit after he left. Like it's been a long time. That said, the game last night, Tom Brady barely squeaked by. Like
I know.
Barely. And I think a lot of it was because of the nerves of coming back, of facing your old coach that, I mean, is just constantly pissed off, like just gross. So I'm going to chalk that up to nerves. And I think them being home is an advantage for them as well. I mean, it's the Bucks. They're going to be fine. But at their home games, they have the cannons, which is the coolest thing.
It is pretty cool.
I'm so fucking jealous that we are the Eagles and we just get an eagle that soars across. That's it.
Yeah, well, true.
That we love.
I will say this regarding the Dolphins versus Tom Brady. The one team that Tom Brady has a losing record against, I believe, is Miami. I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah.
But Tech just literally went to go try and find Jesus to respond to your stat drop there. He was like, he heard you. He's like, where is this man going? And it came back to the screen.
That's typical when we record our show. You just don't see it.
Right. Exactly.
I mean,
and Julio, Tua's not even playing. It's still Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah.
They're actually
that's a Bucks 10-point win. That's a 10-point Bucks win.
Yeah, right. Easily, if not more.
And the cannons.
Yes.
I just want us to do more. Like
with our celebrations.
Eagle-ism. Yeah.
Yo, did anyone see Bill's son against Brady? You mean Mullet McGee? Yo,
oh my God.
I can't handle that guy.
No.
Little Belichick.
Wait, there's a literal little Belichick? What is he? Is he his
He's
actual
the
kid?
offensive. He's one of the coordinators on the Bills.
And that's his kid?
Yeah. And he rocks a mullet.
It's phenomenal.
I know you guys are on your phones, but I will at the end of the show, I will pull up the little Bill.
Oh, can we side note Urban Meyer for a second?
We already did Jacksonville.
Okay, but
hey, who doesn't like a woman dancing on their lap? Let's be honest. The man's a man.
Last week, I didn't know who that was. I thought it was a college.
She did.
She's
like
Urban Meyer University. Like, couldn't she be like, I got my degree from Urban Meyer?
That sounds legitimate, though.
It does. So now he's been in the news so much this week, and it's all I think about. Like, oh, Brigham Young, Urban Meyer.
Guys are in the news for the goofiest thing. So the man likes women. Why is that news?
I don't know why that's news, but I have been listening to a lot of sports radio about that, and it's either A, he wanted to get caught on purpose so he could get canned, or B, has he not had scandals before, and he's got a wife and 3 kids, so it was kind of like what you're doing.
Yeah, if you have a wife and 3 kids, different story. I agree.
But the theory, I mean, what you do on your own time is your business, but the theory of him wanting to get fired makes a lot of sense. Because
I don't know, because he's got his guy now. He's got his guy.
Yeah. Has he not tried to do this before in somewhere else?
He's had some health issues. He was a college guy. He's had health issues at Ohio State.
Oh, Urban Meyer was a college guy?
Yeah. By the way, can we go and we got to backtrack to the joke that she snuck in that I'm not sure if anybody heard.
And Brigham Young.
Yeah, Urban Meyer likes to Brigham Young.
Wow.
Listen.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Wow.
I think many old men probably do.
He's in Florida, so he knows what's up.
See, Florida.
He knows what's up. Packers and Bengals. I got the Pack. Aaron Rodgers is finally settling in. While the Bengals have been playing better, Packers should win this one pretty easily. Yeah. I do like Burrows. I do like the wide receivers, but still.
I agree, but I would not take the points. I think the Bengals are going to keep this very close.
Yeah, I agree. And my wife, channeling her inner dad joke, she picked the Packers because she thinks that they're going to do Gouda. Get it?
I like cheese, so I usually go for the Packers.
That's
actually true. Every week she puts Packers because cheese.
Cheese. It's valid.
Broncos, Steelers. I got the Steelers. Bridgewater is going to be out a few weeks. He's really been leading this team. The Steelers have been
bounce back. Yeah,
bounce back. Yeah, it's a bounce back game. It's a close game now.
Yep.
And you got the Steelers because of your obsession with.
I love TJ Watt, so he's back and all's right with the world.
He is a monster.
Before that, there was no point in even saying like Steelers are going to win. No, they weren't.
No, they weren't.
They're such a Ben Roethlisberger is such a joke,
dude. He's a mess this season.
He constantly
future Hall of Famer, though.
Drunk and sweaty.
He will be. He will be a future Hall of Famer.
Absolutely, hands down, for sure. But recently, he's been like that guy that like is just sweaty and drunk all the time. Like his hands are wet and you don't know why.
Why are your hands always wet? I don't know. Ben Roethlisberger's on the field going Ricky Bobby Talladega Nights.
What do I do with my hands? It's true.
It's the end. It's the end for Ben.
It's got to be. And they don't have anybody as a backup right now.
Mason Rudolph.
They don't have anybody as a backup right now. I'm pretty sure this thing was on when I said it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Bears and the Raiders. I got the Bears. Justin Fields looked good. Maybe he wins another game. I don't really have a good reason. I'm picking the Bears.
I got Raiders.
I'd probably take the Raiders in that one. That's an easy game to pick for me, but the Bears, they could surprise. I mean, they could surprise. The Raiders are getting shut out right now.
I picked the Bears. I'm shocked.
They're inconsistent.
You did as well.
Your reason's great.
If I wanted to see cheap black and silver, I'd buy jewelry from Piercing Pagoda. I don't like their costumes. They're so ugly.
Back.
Yeah.
Here's one we differ on. I got the Chargers over the Browns. I'm high on the Chargers. I think Herbert is the man. Browns are hit and miss. I'm going the Bolts on this one. You have the Browns.
Yeah, because the commercials are back and so am I. Baker Mayfield's commercials are so funny and they're so good. And the season started and they weren't happening. And now they're back. So here I am.
Chargers look good. I go Browns. Though.
They do. They do. The Chargers do look. I like the Chargers.
Right.
I just think the Browns are going to win because of the commercials.
Chargers are destroying the Raiders right now, 21-0 at half.
Crazy.
Ooh, I'm happy to lose that one because I don't like the Raiders to begin with.
There you go.
But I keep hearing everybody in the chat and everybody's always telling me that the 49ers and the Raiders have two of the most recognizable like uniforms.
They do.
But they're ugly.
Okay. Giants and Cowboys. I got the Cowboys. I said this is a stomping.
I hope.
Straight up stomping.
I agree.
Cowboys are in the running for an NFC championship, and the Giants are not.
I agree with it.
Yeah.
Your reason's great.
I don't want either one of them to win, but I like Dak Prescott as a human being.
That's a game where you root for Bane.
Yeah. I'm okay if either one loses at this point. Like, I just think that Giants fans.
Adam's picking because he can't pick the Cowboys.
I don't want to pick the Cowboys either, but I like Dak, and he's the one redeeming factor about them this season and last season when he got hurt. I felt bad. But the Giants, like, their fans are such dicks. Sorry, guys.
Well, New York, I mean, what more is there to say about Giants fans? They're delusional.
Oh, my God, the worst.
Yo. They really, really are.
Yeah.
Cardinals and Niners. The Cardinals look really good.
They do.
They are Super Bowl contenders.
The Niners are beginning to deal with injuries. Arizona wins. I actually think this one pretty easily.
Yeah, me too.
Because the 49er costumes look like steaming pile of shit. I don't like them. I told you. But I think the
Golden red
Cardinals
is funny.
are a legitimate. Like, if they don't go to the Super Bowl, I will be surprised.
Like, you do understand the 49ers costumes. Some of the greatest players in NFL history have worn that.
That's
like
true.
who?
Montana.
Like who?
Jerry Rice,
Okay.
Steve Young, Joe Montana.
All right, Joe Montana.
Yeah.
You just started. You had the
Ronnie Lott, Roger Craig.
Ronnie Lott.
I don't know who that
Tom
is.
Brady.
T.O.
Yeah.
T.O. is now and forever an Eagle to me. I do not care about anything else. And I hope he's watching because I love him.
I hope he's watching for many other reasons.
And yeah, 1, he needs to come on the show. 2, we like his wine. And 3, I love him.
There you go.
Matt,
All fair. All fair
Matt
assessment.
just asked. Matt said, "How hard is it for you to say costumes?" I hope you noticed the pause, the eye roll, and the deep swallow
It's true.
before I said it.
It's true.
Yeah. Yes.
Joe Montana. I thought you.
He's great.
He's a quarterback, you dumbass. I thought you said Joe Montana.
I love him. He's great.
We're Sam on this one.
I'm so shocked.
Bills. We only differ again on like 2 or 3 of these. Bills and Chiefs. I think the Chiefs played well enough to win against Philly. Bills will be able to slow down the big offensive KC. You are different because. What's
Right.
that?
I go Buffalo on this one.
You're going
I think
Buffalo,
Bills
yeah.
get the upset. I think Bills get the upset.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm mad at last week. So plague on the house of Kansas City. However, I do love the new color of Andy Reid's mustache, and I don't know if it's because he was in the hospital.
Yeah.
And I love him. I love Andy Reid so much.
Yeah.
But
While he was in there, he got a dye job.
I don't know if it like turned because he went through trauma. I'm serious. It's a real thing.
All right. Well, now I feel like shit.
So good. You should.
All right.
So the Walrus, I love them, but I just think they're going to lose.
Here
The Bills were pretty unstoppable last season. They had a good season.
They did.
It's an AFC Championship rematch game, and
It
the
is.
Bills are rolling right now. I think it's going to be very close, decided by 3 points or less, but I think Josh Allen's going to get the better of Mahomes.
Yeah.
Which one's Josh Allen?
Josh Allen is
Bills
the quarterback
No,
for
no,
Buffalo.
he's
He's not
not.
the player you don't like.
Oh, there's one player that
She has an issue with Cole Beasley
I hate his face.
and the fact that he is willing to buy tickets for non-vaccinated people at away games.
Because
I
it
see.
just makes no sense.
It's a
like,
douchey move.
No,
It's
I don't-
unnecessary. It's just
Do what you
unnecessary.
want with your money. I don't care. But like,
I agree.
that's
I
a
hate
really
that
dumb thing to do.
I hate Cole Beasley.
No, who's the guy that I really hate? Is he the Jags quarterback?
Oh, you hate Trevor Lawrence's face.
Is that Panther?
Trevor Lawrence's face of the
Yeah.
Jaguars.
Yeah,
gotta
Trevor
hate
Lawrence.
his
I want to
face.
punch
You
his
gotta-
face.
Yo, he's
gotta
ugly as
hate
He
hell.
has a punchable face.
Yeah.
He does.
I
He does.
agree with that.
Is there anything I can do about
He
it?
was
No.
great in college. Great. He really was. But he knows it, and I kind of just want to knock the smug right off his
Yeah.
face.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed.
You know?
All right.
Mhm.
The
Where's that?
Ravens.
And then Colts and the Ravens. I said, are the Ravens always playing in primetime? I feel like they play in primetime every goddamn week.
Well,
Whether
Yeah.
it's Sunday night,
Almost.
Thursday night, like it's every week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They love Lamar. The league loves Lamar.
They love him.
I love Lamar too. I'm a Lamar guy.
But
I agree.
I actually am not a Lamar guy. I am a Lamar, if you want to put him at running back, cool, and do some
He's
gadgets.
slightly
But
overrated.
He is so overrated. He is not an NFL quarterback.
I
No,
agree
cool
with
that he
you.
won an
I agree with you,
MVP.
Chip.
Cool that he run an MVP, but if you look at what a quarterback is supposed to be, I'm real tired of Lamar Jackson.
I will say this,
Yeah.
guys. I know
and I
Wentz is,
disagree.
I know Wentz is mediocre, but guys, I got the Ravens winning this game too. We should be rooting for the Colts to win games. We should be rooting for him to be good. Because
Yeah.
if he's not good, we don't get that third draft pick. We don't get that first round pick.
I
Right,
root
they'll sit
for
him.
him. I
Adam gets it.
root for him to get the minimum number of snaps that he needs.
But in order to do that, in order to get that minimum number of snaps, he has to be good enough to stay in to get that minimum number of
Yes.
snaps. And in order for that
But
to happen,
yeah.
they have to win games and be a playoff contender. They're
Colts
not
upset.
even-
Colts upset this week.
They're not even in our conference. We don't have to worry about
No,
them.
they're not.
Let them win games. We need them to be a playoff contender. But they will
I
lose.
mean-
Yeah, they're going to lose against Baltimore.
Yeah.
There is a page on Twitter, and I talk about this, that follows Wentz's snap counts every week.
Yes, I retweeted it today.
at Wentz snaps.
I love it so
To which
much.
she said, what, his ankle? Like, I'm like, wow, just cold-blooded over here.
Where is the lie? Is there a lie? No, he gets hurt so much.
Which is your reasoning?
Because Carson Wentz is Mr. Glass, and like the Raven said, nevermore.
Right.
Come on, it's not
Absolutely.
wrong. I would like to see him or his fan base get pumped up to win a game. Like that's nice. That's why I like watching all the games, because I pick like whoever, but I'm happy for what I just like football. So to me, it doesn't matter.
Yep.
Carson Wentz hurt my feelings.
Yes.
So
he betrayed the city.
He did.
You know, and that's really what it comes down to for me. If he's like just going and doing whatever, and it's really good for him, that's awesome. You want to wish people well. You hope that they do well other places. Andy Reid, look, I mean, even though he's a coach, he did so much for us. I mean, eventually no one was buying into his system here anymore. So he's better in Kansas City. Absolutely. But I want to see him succeed. When he got a Super Bowl win, I felt so happy for him, because we love him. We love him.
I want zero success for Carson Wentz, but unfortunately, the best revenge that we can have on him is him actually turning out to be pretty good for them and making them a playoff contender. They're not going anywhere. So
I don't think that he's going to be.
We'll get that first round pick.
Yeah, exactly. We want them to be 8 and 9.
His child? He's pulling up Bill Belichick's kid.
Oh. Mullet man.
Why are they all so angry?
He looks like
the kid. Thanks to Adam, by the way, for saying great show, Chip. Awesome guest. We appreciate it, Adam.
Yeah.
Adam, you're the man, dude. Adam came to our live show yesterday and wore my shirt. I have a picture I'm going to be posting.
Yeah, Adam, it was awesome.
Nice.
It was awesome.
Belichick's son looks like the kid from Breaking Bad, Jesse. He looks like Jesse.
He does. That is what
he does a lot.
Like, but like, why is he always angry?
This exists in the world.
Oh, that was the tongue meme. The tongue meme I've been seeing with the tongue.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
terrible.
Okay.
Wow. This is unbelievable.
I mean,
gold. The internet always wins.
Is he the winningest coach of all time?
Not Steve,
him, but Bill.
Not Steve.
Right.
Not Steven.
The only Steve I want to see is Steve from Blue's Clues. He saved us.
Jesus Christ.
He saved us.
On that, gentlemen, I want to give you a chance to give some final thoughts, whether it's promoting, whether it's pushing, whether it's talking about things, whatever you guys want to do. The floor is yours.
Okay.
All right, man. I'll go first. So for everyone listening that's going to check this out, you can find us at the Henry James Saloon every Eagles game with Bell and the Bird podcast, John Barchard, Vince Quinn. We're spinning records. We're giving commentary on the game. We're doing a pre- and post-game show. Got drink specials. The food's phenomenal. Come out, check us out. Yeah, there'll be guests coming through. And you can find our show on all the major streaming sites. Whatever you listen to podcasts on, you can find us, the Vet Alumni Podcast. Jalen Hurts will be the guy. Ben Simmons is a diva child. And Bryce Harper is arguably the greatest Philly since Mike Schmidt. And that's all I got. Tech, your turn.
I'm fully all in with that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Vet Alumni Podcast every Wednesday. I think we'll actually start doing a reactionary episode on Monday. In a couple weeks, we'll start that up. And they listen. Ben Simmons, get him out of here. He's done. The Eagles, they will start 1-6. And, you know, as far as the Phillies go, John Middleton's a fraud. Bryce Harper, you are the MVP. That's all I got.
You are. Julio, I think he's asking you guys, will you be at the game Thursday against Tampa?
Oh, yeah.
We'll be at Henry James Saloon for every Eagles game, whether it's Thursday, Monday, Sunday. We're DJing the events for those guys, but also chiming in, giving our takes at the same time simultaneously. And yeah, man, it's just something different. You know, we're used to watching Birds games at home, but we're doing the out and about thing this year.
Yeah, I dig it. Yeah, we're doing the same thing with the away games at the West End in Quakertown. Hour pregame,
nice,
and then
man.
we go to our various locations.
Right now. I'm live from Quakertown right now, baby.
I'm live from Lansdale. I'm like, I can actually hear you.
Yes.
Thanks for having us, Chip, and Tila, right?
Yes.
Dude, we appreciate it a lot. Fun, man. I want to thank you guys for coming on again. Check it out, the Alumni Pod. They're on Twitter. They're on your social media platforms. Vet Alumni. What'd I say?
The Alumni Pod.
Good.
I said vet. My bad. Listen, I'm a teacher. It's past my bedtime. I still got grading to do. Again, this has been Chips and Dish. We do this every Monday night on All About the Birds and the AAT Sports Network. All of our great sponsors. Make sure you're checking them out. The links are in the bios. We have a huge week of programming this week. We have Burning Bridges with former NFL player Jeremy Bridges tomorrow night. He just gets on late night and just starts talking shit. It's hysterical. I watch it every single damn week. We have our weekly report on Wednesday as well. We're bringing in a Carolina Panther podcaster this week so he can talk about what their team's doing. We do this every week. We bring on an enemy podcaster. I like it. Thursday is our Philadelphia Union soccer show across the pitch.
With a real life British man.
He's really British.
Wow.
So it sounds official. It's official.
Yeah.
Cheerio, mate. All right. So I try not to talk in a British accent too much because we have an actual Brit. He's like, "You're a fucking idiot," and I'm like, "I know."
Yes.
True.
My students think it's hysterical. A does not think so as much because I sound like I belong in Mary Poppins.
Oh my God, stop it.
All right. Friday night is Birds, Beers, and BS, which is our YouTube exclusive where everybody just gets drunk and talks shit.
I like it.
And then we're live from the West End for pregame and then postgame from our living rooms. Make sure you're checking out all those things.
And again, their podcast.
And again, the Vet Alumni Pod.
Because you miss the vet, but you don't want to miss their podcast.
Yes.
You guys are the best.
My God. Again, I know it's the better half. So we're going to play a commercial on the way out. It's for Manscaped. It's for your testicles shavings.
It's a good one.
It's the last time you guys will hear the outer space one because I got the new one to record, which is all about Halloween and getting spooky on your genitals.
Spooky on your genitals.
That, I hope, is not the slogan. So, again, we end every show here on All About the Birds with a solid Go Birds.
Halloweeny?
Dear God. And we're out of beer, so we're out of here. We'll see you guys next time. Peace out. Attention, listeners across the galaxy. All the way from Australia to Houston. Do we have a pube problem? If so, our friends at Manscaped have cleared you for takeoff with their 4th generation and brand new Lawnmower 4.0. Kick your pubes to the next planet with the Performance Package 4.0. The orbits in your pants will feel like you're in zero gravity when you use the best tools for the job from the leaders in male grooming. Join the 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped and get your rocket ready for takeoff by going to manscaped.com for 20% off and free shipping with the code AATBirds. Ready for an out-of-world experience, fellas? Look no further than the Performance Package 4.0 from Manscaped that has just taken off in not only the USA, but Canada, the UK, across Europe, Australia, South Africa, and Singapore. Inside this package, you'll find their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Reviver toner, Performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold your whole solar system. First, scheduled for liftoff, new Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer. This spaceship is here to guide you on a journey to trim your body, balls, butt, and even Uranus. This 4th generation trimmer also features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. The Lawnmower 4.0 has a 7,000 RPM motor, a new multifunction on-off switch, can engage a travel lock, and is even waterproof. The Lawnmower 4.0 also has a 4000K LED spotlight you can turn on and off when needed for a more precise shave throughout your travels across the universe. The Performance Package 4.0 also includes the Weed Whacker. It's like having a little astronaut to chop your worst weeds up top in your nose and ear. The Weed Whacker is also waterproof and uses a 9,000 RPM motor-powered 360-degree rotary dual-blade system. This nose and ear hair trimmer provides proprietary skin-safe technology, which helps prevent nicks, snags, and tugs in those delicate holes. Don't forget to use Crop Preserver ball deodorant and their Crop Reviver to help your little planets be on their A game while feeling the sun's heat. Manscaped even threw in 2 free gifts to their Performance Package 4.0, the Manscaped Boxers and the Shed Travel Bag. Abort hairy balls and Buzz Lightyear that Woody with Manscaped. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code AATBirds at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with the code AATBirds at manscaped.com. For a clean trinity and beyond, your Spaceballs will thank you.